Minutes past. Awesome. Welcome everybody to our fireside chat with Qualtrics. Some of you have maybe done these fireside chats with Manara before. Some of you, this may be your first time. So we're doing it in a little bit of a different format than usual. We have three speakers from Qualtrics, Carolina, Dominica, and Mohaned, who some of you may know was from a past Manara cohort and was placed at Qualtrics. So today, they're going to be talking about a lot of different topics, and we're going to focus, let each one of them go through and focus on that, and then there will be time for Q&A at the end. But if anybody has questions, please drop it in the chat or use the Q&A. If you feel uncomfortable for any reason asking your question out loud or in the chat, you can DM me directly, and I'd be happy to ask that towards the end. So, yeah, we've been looking forward to this, planning it for quite some time. And Qualtrics is an amazing hiring partner with Manara, and we're looking forward to a really good 2024 with them, already making referrals, already talking to Carolina every 2 weeks. So really excited for this partnership to continue and everything. Awesome. Mohaned had to mute himself, and now he can't unmute. Let me see. Tamana, can you unmute? Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So we'll go ahead and start. We are going to first start with Carolina, who is the senior recruiter with Qualtrics. And she's just going to give you guys an intro to the company and the Krakow office journey. So I'm going to hand it over to Carolina.
Hi, nice to meet you all. And as Maya said, I'm Carolina. I'm responsible for everything recruitment here at Qualtrics. And I thought that I will talk a little bit about our history and how it all started and where we are now here at Qualtrics. So, because the story of founding Qualtrics is very interesting, and for me it was super inspiring because Qualtrics was founded in 2002 by 4 people. Ryan and Jared Smiths, who are brothers, their father Scott and their friend Stuart. Before Qualtrics, Ryan was working at HP and Jared was running the Google office in Dublin. And Scott was an academic lecturer that was associated with statistics and mathematics. And the beginnings of Qualtrics are actually quite sad because the company started when Scott, the father, was diagnosed with cancer. His sons, Jared and Ryan, decided to drop everything that they were doing at that time and to spend more time with him. And this is how they started Qualtrics. Basically, to spend more time together, they started the company that we are all talking about now. At the beginning, our product was developed in garage. So it's like in all of those movies about startups from Silicon Valley. And it's a quite actually funny story connected with that because the first office was in the basement of Smith's family house. The employees back then, they were parking their cars on the streets, blocking all of the streets around. And we know that there were some problems with neighbors that were not happy about that. And the first product of Qualtrics was super simple because the Smith family had a huge connection to universities. This is where our products were used first. They were using our service solutions for gathering data at universities. And the product was quite successful from the very beginning because Qualtrics was super self-sustainable. We were earning enough money to cover our operations, which is unknown for startups at such early stage. And this is how it all started. And after some time, when the product was growing bigger and bigger, the academics community was not enough for Qualtrics. This is when we decided to redefine the product and hit a bigger number of customers. This is when Qualtrics introduced the XM platform, which is short for Experience Management Platform, and this is our flag product right now. The product was like an instant hit. Actually, the demand for it was huge, and it is used by 70% of Fortune's 100 companies right now. And we currently have around 19,000 customers, including such big brands as Google, Disney, Yahoo, BMW, and we have 20 offices around the world. And Qualtrics Experience Management Platform helps our customers with gathering data about 4 areas of their operations. Those areas are brand, customers, products, and employees. Our customers can get information, like a lot of different information about all of those things to improve their companies, their businesses, basically. Of course, our humble beginnings were from surveys, but right now the surveys are the tip of an iceberg here, because the most important thing is what we are doing with the data that we are getting by those surveys. We are processing and analyzing this data, and then preparing predictive models for our customers that help them with making big decisions about their businesses. And the product is used by like millions of people every day around the world. So that's amazing. And on the previous slide, we could see all of the locations of Qualtrics right now. We are on almost every continent, currently hiring people in our offices in all of those countries. And next slide, please. Qualtrics in Krakow started in 2017. So it's been 7 years here already. In 2022, we moved to expanded space, which we are right now in. And in 2023, we became the biggest Qualtrics engineering hub in Europe, having almost all of our employees engineers, because Krakow is a great market basically for software engineering, and it is sometimes called a Silicon Valley of Europe because of amazing talent that we have here and the number of tech companies that we have here in Krakow. So of course, it was a natural step for Qualtrics to expand here, and this year we established our professional services and engineering teams in Krakow. Those teams are on the front line of working with our customers, helping them with using our products, helping them with any technical problems that they are facing, growing accounts of our customers, and just making their life easier by existing. And thanks to that, contributing to the growth of our product. So as you can see, it has been an amazing journey from starting in basement because Jared Scott Smith had cancer to the company right now. We have currently around 5,000 employees all around the world and around 250 people here in Krakow, and we are still growing and expanding our teams. So yeah, that's the short introduction to Krakow. Can we have next slide? So tacos is like the base of our existing. I would say those are the most important values that we hold as a company, and as employees of Qualtrics, those are the values that we live by. They are transparent, all-in, customer-obsessed, one team, and scrappy. Transparent is because we recognize impact based on performance and results, not politics. We understand how important it is for all of the employees to be informed of what is happening at the company, to make sure that everyone is aware of the vision and of the plans of the company, so they can work towards it together. All in means that when we are going to work, we are all in into that. We trust each other that we are putting all of our efforts in our jobs and that we are here to do our job well. We don't have any tracking systems. No one is checking what you are doing every day at every minute. We trust each other that we know what we are doing and we know why we are here. Customer obsessed, of course, is connected with our customers, because without them, there wouldn't be Qualtrics like it is right now. So it's always important for us to keep relationships with our customers on a good level, to listen to their feedback, learn from mistakes as well. So this value is all about customers. One team is basically self-explanatory. We are stronger together, but we also understand that we are all different, and we value our differences and diversity. We strive to help each other to get better by working together. And scrappy is the last of our values, and it's a little bit more difficult to explain, so bear with me. Basically, Qualtrics take care of their employees. We have a lot of different benefits that are making our lives at work and outside of work easier. But at the same time, we understand the value of money, that maybe we shouldn't be spending it for first flight tickets if we can go somewhere in another class. So we are making sure that our employees are well taken care of, but at the same time, we are very cautious about how we are spending our money. So those are tacos, and tacos are also part of our interviewing process, because it is very important for us that everyone that is joining us understands how important those values are for us. Next slide, please. And as I've mentioned before, in one team, we understand that we are all diverse, and we are striving to make our culture here inside of the company inclusive. So those are our Q groups, the groups that you can join once you will join the company. The Pride group is for people from LGBTQ plus community. Salute is a group for our veterans in United States. Mosaic is for our Hispanic employees. QAble is a group for our employees with different disabilities. Green Team is focusing on sustainability and being eco, basically. And of course, Women's Leadership Development is helping our women employees to become leaders and to empower them in their roles. So yeah, that's Qualtrics, and a little bit about our history and as a company. So now I am passing the voice to Dominica, our amazing software engineer.
Oh, I think Dominica is muted.
Yeah,
Tamana.
thank you. Now it should be okay. So hello, my name is Dominica Zając, and I'm senior software engineer at Qualtrics. And I'm here today to tell you a little more about working as a software engineer at Qualtrics. But maybe let's start with my short background. I am programmer from education, profession, and passion. I graduated from computer science from Jagiellonian University here in Krakow. and I'm also full stack engineer. Apart from my work at Qualtrics, I also conduct different workshops and lectures. And I am Google developer expert in web technologies because of that, because I love sharing my knowledge with others. Privately, I'm a huge fan of karaoke. So if you want to know where's the best karaoke in Krakow, I can tell you. But yeah, today I will speak about working as an engineer. So could you please go to the next slide? Ah, okay. Probably everything from here is covered. So we can go to the next one. And yeah, I want to tell you what is really special in Qualtrics when we are talking about software engineering. Because I know that as everywhere, what we are doing, we are defining some problems, we are trying to find a solution for them. Later on, we have to code something, test something, and debug some bugs. And it's what we are doing in each company as programmer. But there are things that are very special at Qualtrics. And first of them is that Qualtrics is product company, which means that code quality is extremely important for us. We know that we are not only coding something and shipping that away, but we have to stay with our code. So we have a lot of processes and we take care on things like accessibility. So making our software available for everyone, including people with disabilities. We spent a lot of time on improving our processes to be sure that we don't have any regression, that our tests are good and our software is as good as it may be. And also we have holistic development model. What does it mean? It means that we don't have split between front-end developers, back-end developers, or people who are working only with databases or something like that. Majority of people in Qualtrics work as full stacks, so we are doing everything that is needed, including setting AWS, like DynamoDB, S3, or something like that. And it's not so obvious in other companies. Thanks to that, you have a wider perspective, what is needed, and also how our software works, and how to understand not only your small part of the product, but more broad picture. I also work in a foundations team, in platform team, which is specific because we are not only building solutions for our clients, but we are building modules which are later reused by other teams to build their solutions. And I really love that we have to not only focus on small thing, but we are building the whole flow, starting from starting your repository, adding unit test, functional test, integration test. And our testers are helping us with writing end-to-end tests and providing more complicated stuff. What is also specific to Qualtrics? We assume that if you know at least one language, one programming language, and you know data structures, you can learn the rest. So for example, I am a person who is really curious and like trying new stuff, trying new perspective, new projects, new languages. And it's okay that you, for example, come to Qualtrics with only one language, but you decide you want to learn something else. You can learn it during working, and I did it. I came to the Qualtrics mostly with Angular, Ionic knowledge. Now I work with React and Kotlin. But in the past, I was also working with, for example, React Native, with Java, with Python. So you have a lot of opportunities to change something, to learn something new, to grow. And it's not like you are doing that after work. You learn that in your project, in your work time. We have also something called QED, Qualtrics Engineering Development. So 10% of your time you can spend on your self-development. And it's really cool because you can, for example, start your side project. You can learn a new thing. You can gather some group and together you can do something else. or you can share your knowledge with others. For example, participate in conference and speak there as a mentor or help someone as a mentor. So it's guaranteed that you have this time for your self-development. We have also a lot of support from more experienced developers, and we have something called buddy support system. When you come to the company, there's a special person which will take care of you during your onboarding time. They will help you understand our systems. They will help you understand technological stuff. They will help you with setuping everything. And we have also bootcamp. So the first days in the company, you will spend learning what is our product, how to release stuff, how to set up development process, what are our processes and stuff like that, which is really cool because in the beginning, you learn how to code, but in our environment and how to prepare for the future. We have also a lot of very, very experienced programmers, which are sharing their knowledge, and they help you on daily basics, even after this onboarding time. So I'm at the company for 4 years, but still sometimes I need help from more advanced programmer or from architect or just from a person who has different perspective than me. We have a lot of processes like design office hours, where you can come and just talk with other engineers about your idea, about your architecture, about things you want to change. And it's like sharing knowledge, but also consulting your idea before you start development. We have similar process after some issues, after some incidents, where we are spending time to understand what was wrong, what we can do to avoid that in the future, and how to improve our processes to not allow for regression in the future. So that's really cool that you really know not only that we are coding, that we are developing something, but also that we are creating the good code and we are improving and we are learning each day. And I can honestly say that I see how much I learned during those 4 years. What is also important, Qualtrics, as Carolina said, is a huge product. We have clients for 18,000 customers worldwide. So when I was at studies and we were talking about, for example, complexity, I didn't really understand why it's so important. Now I know, because if you write something not optimal, you will see that it's real latency, that it's a huge impact on your database, on latency, on availability of services. So you can check how your code will work on a huge scale, not only on those small things that's using by few hundred people, but really huge scale. And we have something called culture of ownership, which means that everyone has their part, their impact in the system. When you are a junior, it's something small. It may be one component, it may be one service, maybe part of the page. But when you grow, you have more and more ownership. So you have impact. You can, you have a real voice, and you can make decisions about some architecture, about some decisions from programmer point of view. You have to talk with different people, with project manager, with UX designer, with testers, with other teams, to make sure that that you will make it as good as possible. But it's really, really cool that you have your own space. So you have to take care on it fully. You have support from other people, but also you have a chance to show your skills. And of course, you can grow. And I really, really, really love that. And yeah, the last thing I have on my list is cross-functional team collaboration. As I said, as engineers, we do a lot. So we are not only coding, we are not only focusing on this front and back end part, but we are also responsible for For example, those AWS assets or unit functional integration tests. But also we cooperate with different roles, with different teams, so we can learn a lot about collaboration, about soft skills, but also we can exchange experiences and make it as great as possible. Okay, I talked a lot, but I forgot to say in the beginning that, yeah, I work in this foundation team, in platform team. So mostly we are building components for other teams to build on it. And in the past, I worked, for example, on homepage, which is gathering data from different parts of the system and presenting them in present short summary for users, what is happening in the system. Later on, I was working on consistent navigation, which is not so obvious in huge products like Qualtrics. Later on, I switched to the project about splitting our huge product into smaller apps. So when you are interested only in, for example, seeing dashboards, or you are a person who is just preparing surveys, you don't have to see all functionalities in our system, but just the small things that are interesting for you. And now I'm in internationalization tooling team, which is mostly responsible for tools for translating the data in the system, integration with Google Translate, other machine translation providers, and sharing translations between different areas of the product. Okay, and if we can go to the next slide, I want to also highlight that it's not just work. So the work is the most important thing, of course, but we have also this QED I mentioned earlier. So we have this time for self-development and growing. And we have also a lot of parties, times to gather with other teams, talk, play board games. You can even see that we were cooking over Zoom with our teammates from USA because we had no chance to meet during the pandemic, so we decided to cook together. We are also involved in actions where we are sharing our knowledge. We are providing some workshops, lectures, and also we are conducting some volunteering actions like Hour of Code, where we are teaching kids programming. And all of those things happen in Krakow, and you can do them as a software engineer. If you have more questions about that, just let me know. But now I'm passing my mic to the Maya, I believe.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that, Dominica. And then I very quickly get to hand it over to Mohammed, who is a software engineer with Qualtrics and also a past Manara graduate, alum, whatever you want to call it. So Mohammed, take it away.
Sure. So hello everyone, this is Mohanned Abu Hassira, in Arabic Mohanned Abu Hassira. Originally from Gaza, Palestine. Quick summary with me, Qualtrics. I joined as a software engineer, been working here for 2 years. I joined exactly mid-August 2022. So I've been here for almost like I said, 2 years. I'm gonna like share some of my personal journey. It would be hard to fit it in the allocated time, but I'll do my best. Some relocation insights and few tips I get when you wanna come here in Poland, hopefully. So I guess we're good to go to the next slide. Okay. So I guess we can start from like beginning of this chart. So, or I guess I can go like backwards a little bit. So when a bit about my education is that I studied computer engineering in the Islamic University of Gaza in 2016, and in Palestine, or usually in Middle East, you would have engineering degrees for 5 years. So graduated in 2021, mid 2021. During that time, or I would say in my last semester in my degree, I got an opportunity to get to connect with Manara from my connections in Gaza. So you can say like around April, where I was officially like I was responded by Manara that I am accepted to join their cohort, summer 21 cohort. And yeah, during the good thing is that I only had like 2 months before I can graduate, so I was like fully committed after graduating to pursue my my goals with Manara on help exploring the world. So because after I graduated, I didn't know like what to do with my career. I got an opportunity to work as a teaching assistant in my university because I was second of my class. So, but then, as you know, like you would last for 1 year and then you have to look for something permanent. So during Manara, I got introduced to the technical phase where it was 4 months. So you have like this technical phase from April to July. Starting from July, it would transition to the job hunting phase. And this is where like I was like a few months later after July, I was referred to different companies, including Qualtrics. This is where like I got my first interaction with Qualtrics. It was really interesting to know about the experience management that Dominica was talking about at the start of this session. And yeah, got my offer with Qualtrics in January, and then took me a while to get to, and we're talking about 2022 right now. Took me a while to get to Poland, so that's why I joined, or like took me like 6 to 7 months to start my career in Qualtrics. Yeah, so for Qualtrics itself, I work with Discover for almost like a year and a half, and recently transitioned to work with CX, Human Frontline, because of change of priorities for Qualtrics in 2024. Now, when it comes, like, I guess, to Poland itself, took me a while to get adjusted here to the culture. It was a bit different, and the work environment, because it was my first like experience working as a software engineer, or getting like to the tech career itself. So it was two things really that were new to me. But the more I got adjusted here, or the more like time passed, I just got adjusted and was really fascinating about like the interesting and fascinating like history of Poland. Like once I visited multiple places here, not just in Krakow, but in Warsaw and in different other cities, and learned about their traditions, tasty food. There's like we have like the most like I guess popular food here is pierogi, which I'm gonna talk like a bit in Arabic here to familiarize the Arabic speakers here with it a bit. So it's like, or switch to Arabic I guess. عبارة عن خليط من سمبوسك، نحكي قطايف، فهي ميكس من الاثنين. خلينا نحكي ممكن تحشيها ببطاطا أو لحمة. So I was just explaining that it was just a mix between like two things we eat a lot in the Arab culture to give them an idea. And yeah, all of this is really like underpinned by interactive costs, which is like the biggest plus here. Joining as a software engineer or working as a software engineer in Poland is a huge plus because you would have like great amount of salary compared to others, and at the same time it will make your life much easier in terms of work-life balance and how you're gonna save for the future once you get married or whatever other goals you might have. What else we can talk about? I guess some tips I would say I would give. Not sure if you guys know, but Polish can be hard a bit to learn. So I wouldn't like stress about learning the language. I mean, if you're gonna join Qualtrics, all discussions will be in English, of course, but you have to interact with people outside, especially if you're gonna stay here for a long time. So I wouldn't stress about that, and you just take your time to learn about it and enjoy the process rather than forcing it like on yourself. One final thing I want to mention is the help that I got from collaboration between Manara and Qualtrics with the immigration documents. I mean, when you join or when you want to come here to Poland, you would arrive in a D-type visa, which would allow you to stay here for 1 year, or like to be exact, D-type national visa, which allow you to stay here for 1 year again. But then you have to apply for residency and stuff like that. So it made like the collaboration between Manara and Qualtrics allowed me to get my blue card, which is like special type of temporary residency for workers. In a like it was a smooth process to get there, so it took me like 3 to 4 months to get that, and now I'm allowed to, I guess, work for the next 3 years, and then I can renew it and then go through the other documents. Yeah, so I guess we can go to the next slide, but I'm pretty sure I covered that also. Yeah, that's like some pictures I have here, so you can see how heavy the winter can be in Poland, and in springtime, or I guess it was in summertime, how it wasn't different. The left picture was in Warsaw. The right one was in one of the lakes we have in Krakow. And yeah, that's really all I have here.
Awesome. Thank you, Mohammed. I missed whatever you spoke about with the food. I think that was when you were talking in Arabic, which is the most disappointing thing about today for me. So message me whatever you were talking about so I can look it up. Tamana
Sure.
can attest. Whenever food gets brought up, we always get derailed for like 5 minutes, which is exactly what's happening right now. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and just move on to the Q&A. There's been some questions dropped in the chat, but I'm sure our panel would love to just hear directly from anyone here with questions. So you can't unmute yourselves, but if you have a question, just do the like raise your hand in Zoom, and then Tamana will unmute you so you can just ask out loud. So go ahead, feel free to, and we'll just do them in order. Oh, I think Carolina is also muted. There we go.
Okay, yeah, because I saw a lot of questions and those are connected with my area, which is recruitment. So this is why I wanted to be unmuted to stand answering all of them. Yeah, so I think there were 2 questions about data scientists positions here at Qualtrics. So unfortunately for now, our data science organization is set and we don't have any positions right now, but of course it can change in the future. So I would encourage you to just follow our careers page and connect with me on LinkedIn. So if there will be a position connected with data science, you are more than welcome to apply. Just for now, as I've mentioned, our data science organization is set. Regarding the offices, so we only have engineering positions in Provo, in Utah, in the United States, in Seattle, in Dublin, and in Krakow. So those are our engineering offices. So if we are hiring for any engineering positions, those are in those 4 locations. Regarding Munich, so Munich is our services location. There we have people that are working with our customers, and the positions that we are usually recruiting for Munich are technical account managers, technical support specialists, sales representatives, and etc. So people who are on the front of working with our customers. I also saw a question on how the tacos part is integrated in the interviewing part. So our recruitment processes have several stages, and we have tacos questions integrated in those steps right now. So on Every stage of the recruitment process, you can expect questions that will be connected with one of our values. Those questions are competency-based questions, which are asking you to provide of a real-life example of a situation and how you handled this situation, what you learned, what was the outcome, how you approached this situation. Those questions, well, maybe an example question would be, tell me about the situation where you failed at something. And we would like to hear with transparency, what was the situation, how you approached it, how did you overcome any difficulties that you faced, and and what was the lesson learned from the situation. So this is how the TACOS is integrated into interviewing part. I also saw the question about free lunch, so I can answer, yes, we have free lunches at our offices for all of our employees in all of the locations. Regarding link to my LinkedIn profile, okay.
Carolina, I'll be sharing all of the speaker LinkedIn profiles and the
awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be shared with the key takeaways and a link to the recording if you guys want to watch it again.
Oh, my colleague Alicia, she's also working with me in our recruitment team. She shared my LinkedIn profile on the chat right now, so feel free to invite me to your network. How important is a CS degree for as an electrical engineer? So right now we don't require computer science degree to join Qualtrics. However, having a degree will help you a lot because as Dominica mentioned before, we are working a lot with different data structures and programming languages. So the knowledge that you are getting on computer science studies is helping you, or will help you a lot with that. I also saw the question about holistic approach to technologies and if it is also how the recruitment process looks like in this regard, and I can confirm that as well we are looking at the recruitment process a little bit holistically, and during the recruitment process we are checking skills that are easily transferable between different languages and different technologies. So as Dominica mentioned before, you just need to know one programming language and data structures, and you will be set on our recruitment process. We will not check your knowledge in like programming languages syntax, or we will not be asking you about like specifics of some technologies. We will be just, checking your universal skills. For engineering positions, we are mostly basing on solving different algorithmic tasks and interviews about architecture, distributed systems, microservices, and etc. So on the architecture interview, you will be asked to design a simple system for us. We would like to see how you will approach this problem. So I think that's all the questions that I saw. Let me know if I missed anything. How many interviews are there in the interviewing process and what are they? Okay. So it depends, of course, on the level that you are applying for. The higher the level, the more stages in the recruitment process, of course. For a junior position, we have 3 stages in our recruitment process, and all of those stages are focused on solving different algorithmic tasks. You can use any programming language to solve those tasks. We don't require like knowledge of any particular language during the recruitment process. So that's for junior positions. For mid-level positions, we have of course, algorithmic tasks to solve as well, but we also have the architecture interview that I've mentioned before. We also have personal qualities interview, which is more focused on soft skills. And this is where you can expect quite a number of those competency questions that are connected to our core values that I've mentioned before. Yeah.
Muhammad, do you have your hand up? Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the question by Abid. How important is the CS degree for Qualtrics? Yeah, I just want to, and then he just said that he's an electrical engineer who has some background about full stack. Just want to mention that in my previous team, I mean, my manager was exactly an electrical engineer. I had a colleague who had math degree or graduated with a math degree, but as long as you can understand, do the job, pass the technical side and all the all the interview loop, so you should be good. So it's not really about the degree or your background education, but it's a huge plus, of course, if you have it. It makes you have some foundation to continue building your experience on. So yeah, that's something that I just want to comment on.
Awesome. I think we had somebody, Karam, if you wanted to ask a question, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear a little bit from Mohaned on, by the way, Mohaned and I are from the same cohort from Manara, S21, and we're both from Gaza. So I just wanted to hear from you a little bit about your interview process with Qualtrics, what interviews you had, how that went, etc.
Sure. Coming to Qualtrics, I like I said, joined like a software engineer or a junior software engineer to be exact. So I only had 3 interviews, the interview loop. You had the first, the technical assessment. And after this, you get to the interview on-site, on the on-site interview, of course. You would have basically 2 technical interviews, data structure, algorithmic based interviews, and then it comes to the behavior side. So yeah, if you want to talk about my experience, I had them all on one day. Didn't want to spread them out to not be I mean, it's different between different personas how they would schedule things, but for me, I would schedule everything in one place just to stay focused. Leave one day to stay focused on all the interview loop. And yeah, not sure if you want to go into detail, on the questions or what can you expect or something like this.
Thank you. I was just looking for how to unmute myself. I wasn't able to do that. I was going to ask if you had to do any systems design, or is there systems design in general for juniors, or how does that work?
No, you shouldn't expect any system design. I mean, as long as you're junior, not L4 or above that. L4 is for mid-level, so you shouldn't really expect any system design interviews. And I'm pretty sure, or I think 80% sure that it's when it comes to L4, it's gonna be the same as what I went through plus system design interview, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be 2 interviews. So the total will be 5 or 4.
So for middle level, we have 3 interviews in total as well. There is 1 live coding session, 2 algorithmic tasks to solve, 1 system design / architecture interview, and 1 interview that is tacos focused.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, that was all my questions. Thank you.
So I saw. Yeah.
I was just going to say, did anybody else have a question they want to raise their hand and ask, or should we go through the chat?
So I saw the question if we would consider an graduate from computer science with DevOps SRE experience that want to switch to development. Would the knowledge in SRE be transferable, or you must have entire experience as software engineer? It doesn't matter to us. As I've mentioned before, we are not checking like your specific knowledge about certain programming languages. So if you are good with algorithms, you will pass our recruitment process, even if you are SRE right now.
And Amira had a question about team matching.
Could you please tell us a little bit what do you mean by team matching?
Yeah, Amira, if you want to raise your hand and unmute and ask.
I mean, by team matching, the process when you match a candidate for a specific team. I mean, does team matching happen before the interviews or after we pass the interview?
Okay, so the team matching is happening after the interview. Right now, we are not recruiting to specific teams. We have one recruitment process to the company, basically. And once you will pass this recruitment process, we are taking feedbacks from all of the interviews and taking, of course, into consideration the current company's needs and the teams that we have. We are matching you to the team to make sure that the team's needs are met, but also that your skills will be used in the best way possible once you will join to the company.
Okay, thank you.
And then there's some questions in the chat about visa support sponsorship, specifically for Egyptians and Moroccans, but I think you can probably just speak generally about visa support.
We provide with visa sponsorship for regarding our cooperation with Manara. So we also have external company helping us with all of the procedures and making sure that everyone that is relocating to Poland to work with us is taken care of because the formalities can be very stressful and we understand that. So there is a support of external company with all of the formalities, documentation, anything connected with visa, sponsorship and work permit. We also we are making sure that all of your needs are addressed during the relocation process.
And then I just want to ask a quick follow-up to Mohammed, since you actually went through the visa and relocation process. How long did that take you from accepting the offer and going through everything?
Okay, so for me, it took, I think we started the process. So I joined again in mid-August 2022. We started the process of applying to the blue card in November, or we started the discussion on starting that in November, and then we had the idea to start it from April. But that's mostly because I had some few things about my passport. So, but I would say that if someone would come in, let's say around the same time I came in, and it was August, he can start it at November and can directly start it from there. And the how much it can take, it's really variable. It can we can't get an exact number for that, but I would say that it can take 3 to 4 months, something like that. And during that time, you would already have, even if that would take some time, you already have a stamp on your passport saying that you're waiting to get that document. So it's not really a huge deal, really. Think about it. And going back to what Conan was saying, that I already shared it in my part, but yeah, it will be really smooth on how things will go, so shouldn't really be worried a lot about that.
I saw question about remote job options. Unfortunately, right now, all of our positions are connected with relocating to Poland, where we are growing our engineering hub right now. So also answering a question from Omar, the positions that are available are now only in Krakow, Poland. Because it's important for us that our teams are working together and to make sure that we are building a culture based on cooperation.
Dominica, I think you're unmuted now.
Yeah, I wanted to answer the question about internal movements because I saw that someone asked that and I did it. So it's available. We have a special program called Q Mobility. So you want to change a team when you decide that you want to try something new. Of course, everything depends on the availability. So there has to be place for you. And everything starts with a talk with your manager. Sometimes you have to pass some interviews. Mostly you have to start with talking to your manager, to your new manager, and decide about the deadline, scope of work, how to hand over your current work to a new person. But it's available. I did it, and it's really cool that you don't have to change a job to try something new or just explore new area in tech.
Yes, exactly. As Dominica mentioned, we have our internal program called Q Mobility that allows you to change jobs within the company, because basically we don't want to lose our talents just because they want to do something different.
There's also a question about working from office. So we work 3 days from office and 2 days remotely. And also we have 2 weeks of workation. So you can work from any place you want during this 2 weeks period. So mostly you have some flexibility when you work, and you can, for example, I don't know, go to the dentist appointment if needed. So yeah, we have this 3+2 model of work.
Yeah, and regarding working hours, those are fully flexible. Basically, of course, there are meetings that you need to attend, but other than that, you are the owner of your schedule. And if you feel like having, as Dominica said, like doctor's appointment, or you need to handle something at the offices that are open in early hours, you can take a longer break and just work a little bit more later. You just need to remember to work those average 8 hours per day, but no one is tracking how you are doing. Basically, we are all trusting each other that we know what we are doing here and that we are professionals who are taking ownership of the things given to them. Yes, for the juniors, there is technical assessment, then 2 technical interviews. The first technical assessment is an online test on platform called HackerRank. During this test, you will have 3 algorithmic tasks to solve. Then 2 technical interviews are also centered around solving algorithmic tasks. But those are in the setup with interviewers from Qualtrics. So the first stage is online. You are doing it on your own, in your own time. And then the next 2 interviews are in the live setting with interviewer from Qualtrics. They are similar to each other, but there are differences as well. So first tech interview is fully coding. There will be 2 algorithmic tasks to solve. The second technical interview is also live coding, but there is 1 algorithmic task to solve. And there are 2 or 3 questions connected with tacos.
And I think it's worth mentioning that you have different interviewers as well. So it's like protecting some biases and stuff like that.
Yes, we are always making sure that there are different people involved in every recruitment process to make sure that we have different perspective and opinions. On average, it depends on several factors. First, on your availability for the interviews, but also on the availability of our interviewers. For example, right now we are in the middle of a winter break in Krakow, so there are some people here who are out of the office on holidays, and thus some of the interviews are delayed. But in general, we are always trying to act as fast as possible, taking into consideration, as I've mentioned, the availability of the interviewers and yours.
Does anybody have any other questions? I think we went through everything that was in the chat. And we had also answered the majority of or not the majority, we answered all of the questions that were asked during the registration. Yeah, if anybody has anything else they'd like to say, please raise your hand or type it in the chat. Otherwise, I think we can wrap up. Good to go? Awesome. Yeah, and Tamara, yeah, before we leave, it'd be great if we could just take like a screenshot of everybody here, smiling faces. So if you don't want to be in the photo for socials, please, turn your cameras off now. And then, yeah, we'll have Tamara grab a screenshot. So Tamara, if you want to give us a countdown, and everybody, big smiles.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, normally I would have everybody unmute, and thank you all for being here. But since we can't do that with this one, everybody just drop it in the chat. I know this was really great. And even though I've been in comms with Qualtrics a whole lot, I learned a lot of things. So it was great to hear everything from you guys. We appreciate you all being here, and yeah, can't wait to get some more placements with Qualtrics and keep doing these in the future.
Thank you. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you very much for being with us today. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.